Join me as I take on the challenge of creating the ultimate soil mix for my container garden and see if I can get my plants to thrive like never before. When it comes to container gardening, soil is probably the most critical component. Without a good soil, your plants will struggle to grow, and you'll be left wondering what went wrong. In this video, I'll be sharing some valuable tips and tricks to help you create the best soil for your container garden so you can enjoy a bountiful harvest and beautiful blooms. One of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to container gardening is using regular garden soil. It may seem like a good idea, but garden soil is way too dense for containers and can cause waterlogging, which can be disastrous for your plants. Another common mistake is not considering drainage. If your soil doesn't drain properly, it can lead to root rot and other problems. Some people also tend to overlook the importance of organic matter in their soil. Organic matter is what gives soil its structure and fertility, and it's essential for healthy plant growth. Not having the right nutrients in your soil can also be a major issue. Container gardens need a balanced diet of nutrients to thrive, and if your soil is lacking, your plants will suffer. And finally, using soil that's not specifically designed for containers can lead to poor aeration and compaction. This can cause roots to become tangled and restricted, which can stunt plant growth. So what can you do to avoid these common mistakes? When it comes to creating the ideal container garden soil, there are a few key components you'll want to focus on. First, you'll want to include plenty of organic matter, such as compost or peat moss. Organic matter improves soil structure, enhances water retention, and boosts fertility. This will help with soil structure and fertility, and provide food for beneficial microorganisms. Earthworms and microbes break down organic matter, releasing nutrients that plants can absorb. Next, you'll want to add some nutrients, such as fertilizer or worm castings. Fertilizers provide essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These will provide the necessary nutrients for healthy plant growth. Worm castings are a natural fertilizer that also improves soil aeration and water retention. Finally, you'll want to consider proper drainage techniques, such as adding perlite or vermiculite to your soil mix. These materials help prevent soil compaction and improve aeration. This will help prevent waterlogging and ensure that your plants get the oxygen they need. Well-drained soil is crucial for root health and preventing root rot. Another important aspect of container garden soil is the pH level. Soil pH affects nutrient availability and microbial activity. Most plants prefer a slightly acidic to neutral soil pH, so you'll want to make sure your soil mix is in the right range. Aim for a pH between 6.0 and 7.0 for most container plants. You can test your soil pH with a simple kit and make adjustments as needed. Adding lime can raise pH, while sulfur can lower it. By including these key components in your soil mix, you'll create an environment where plants can thrive. You'll be well on your way to creating a thriving container garden. Happy gardening! So, what's the perfect recipe for container garden soil? Well, I'm happy to share my own secret recipe with you. Start with a base of high-quality potting soil, and then add in some compost or worm castings for extra nutrients. Mix in some perlite or vermiculite for drainage, and finally add a few handfuls of peat moss for extra organic matter. This recipe is simple, effective, and will give your plants the nutrients they need to thrive. Remember, the key to a successful container garden is all about the soil. By avoiding common mistakes and focusing on the key components of ideal container garden soil, you can create a thriving garden that will bring you joy all season long. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you've learned something valuable about creating the best soil for your container garden. Don't forget to comment below with your own soil tips and tricks, and be sure to check out my other gardening videos for more insights and inspiration.